One of the most important things that you can learn how to do to really develop your fretboard, whether or not you're playing pentatonic, blues, hybrid scale, extensions, diatonic, whatever it is that you'd be playing, is to learn how to play them up and down the fretboard with complete control. Because the more you can get out of just playing one position, the more exploration, the more creativity you can have, okay? So what I want you to be aware of is a technique that I teach called meandering. Now, meandering is choosing a jam track or a backing track of some sort that you want to use, and then what you do is you choose the scale that you want to use over the top, whatever it is that you're currently involved with studying, right? Again, maybe you're doing modes, or maybe you're doing diatonic, or maybe you're doing pentatonic, or blues, or whatever it is that you like, okay? But what you do with meandering is you start off with one position, and then you expand to the other positions, and I'm going to get to that in a second. So let's say we were going to be playing over something that is, again, at a tempo that's fairly comfortable for us. And what we're going to do with meandering is you simply start moving. Now, it's not musical yet, okay? But you start moving through the scale, and you don't stop. And what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and train your brain and your hands to continually move to teach you how well you actually know that position. Now, let's say, for instance, let me grab a metronome here. Let's say, for instance, you were playing with, well, we'll just say it's here's 100. Okay. All right, there we go. Had to set the level a little bit. Now, let's say you're pretty good at doing 100, going 2 per click, dun 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 dun. Right. So we've got this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you're pretty good at playing your minor pentatonic at 100, doing 2 per click. You know, maybe it's 120, maybe it's 140, maybe it's 80, whatever. Okay. So you're going to find a jam track, or you're going to use your metronome, or whatever it is you'd like to do that is around that tempo that's comfortable for you. Now, with meandering, what you're going to do is you're going to start moving through this shape, and you're not allowed to stop. So watch this. Now, if I did that, I'm playing the scale up and down, whatever scale it is I'm working on, whether again it's diatonic or whatever it is you're working on. But playing it up and down, you're already practicing that, hopefully, as an exercise to get comfortable with the scale, right? So that's great. But what meandering says is, I want you to improvise. I want you to go on a dirt road, so to speak, here, and I want you just to go exploring. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to try and do more in and out, back and forth, just crazy, who knows what's coming next patterns like this. See, so it's just random, okay? It's not music at this point. What you're doing is you're training your mind, you're training your body, your hands, to simply move back and forth, in and out, this shape in any random order. Now, if you get stuck and your brain shuts down, right? So you're playing and you go, and you have to stop, you're going too fast. So you need to slow that metronome down, okay? So this isn't a prescribed pattern or lick or something that you've been doing. This is random, which when we improvise, a lot of what we do is random. We might wind up somewhere and then we do a lick or a pattern or something that we like. But in between that, it's a lot of random motion. And so it's important for us to learn how to meander, okay? Now, you can cheat a little bit. And one way you can do that is, let's say your brain does freeze up. What you can do is just go to a note and just keep picking it. So if I was going, But if I'm having to stop a lot and sit on a note because my brain isn't going as fast as my fingers or vice versa, again, the tempo is too fast. That's what's happening. The tempo is just too fast. So you need to slow that down. So please understand, this isn't an exercise on playing your scale, which you might already have that developed at a certain speed, right? Of just playing up and down your positions or whatever it might be. This is random. You're just moving around. Now, you might create a pattern while you're playing random. Like you might be going... and you create this repetitive pattern or this repetitive lick. That's okay. That happens in the real world too. So that's okay if that happens. But you've still got to come out of it without stopping, right? So the randomness still has to reoccur after this repetition that you've created, you see? It's a wonderful way of reinforcing how well you really know that position, because just playing it up and down gives you kind of a false sense of security, because when you're soloing, you're not just playing up and down. At least you don't want to, because the number one problem that I hear from people that are trying to learn how to solo is, how do I make my solos not sound like scales? Well, the way you make it not sound like scale is don't play a scale, right? Don't just sit and play up and down this scale. Otherwise, it's not going to sound like a solo. It's just going to sound like an exercise. So right now, with this meandering, it's not music yet. It's still training to see how well you can move in and out and up and down and back and forth and all over the place utilizing this position. Now, let's say you do this over and over and over. You find the tempo that's working for you. You're, like I'm doing right now, you're doing 2 per click, okay? And then let's say you want to move into the second position, okay? So we're in A minor pentatonic right now. So I move up to the second position of A minor pentatonic, and I try the same thing. Same thing, just random, okay? So now I develop that second position. Now here's the cool part. Now you start developing both positions together. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? Then you'd move to the third position, develop the third position, and then add that in. Because here's the thing, and I'm totally 1,000,000% telling you the truth. If you can learn to develop all these positions of whatever scale you're playing, whatever key you're playing it in, but you can develop it to mastery like this, to where it feels, I use the word absolution, where when you look down, you absolutely see it, and you can absolutely play it, okay? That's where the true fun begins, because you start feeling more confident and your brain doesn't get stuck as much. Your fingers don't get stuck as much. So when you're jamming with other people, or you're going to play in front of an audience, or who knows what it could be, you're not as panicked, because you can only kind of pick and choose little things here, a position here, a half a position here. Your fingers don't really work very well on the guitar, all these different things. So meandering is a great way to practice this. You could just start off. I mean, you could just go all day long like that. And the nice thing is that meandering isn't far away from actually creating music. Because what we do is we start taking this meandering that you've got going now, and we start learning how to, A, direct our meandering toward notes that we want to emphasize, and we start learning to pause like we used to do, right? So now instead of, again, this is a second level thing, but it's what I refer to as phrasing. Is now all of a sudden we take this meandering and we start breaking it into pieces by actually stopping. See what I'm saying? All of a sudden it begins to sound more like music, even though it really is meandering, but I'm stopping on notes and I'm stopping the guitar entirely. I'm not playing anymore. And then the second part is once I start learning how to do that stopping, I start trying to think about what notes I might like to go to. If an A minor chord is being played, maybe I want to try and go toward an A. Or if a G is being played, maybe I want to go towards a G. And I'm still using this meandering. Then I start adding in licks or patterns that I've learned. Or various techniques, there's all kinds of things. But it's really cool because now all of a sudden you're not just going and playing a scale, you've kind of learned how to jump around. And the more you practice meandering, you might develop little things in there that you like, right? That become a lick at some point. There's just lots of really great ways that you can do this.